Hey, great evening out there. This is Seun Mafa, and with us tonight, we have a man of God, a relationship expert, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, in the person of Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo. Man of God, great evening, sir.
Thank you, Sean. It's such an honor to be on today.
Awesome. We've heard great things about you. I've listened to most of your messages, and they are so great. I really love them, and thank you so much for being on this podcast tonight. Well, marriages, relationship, the struggle back and forth. A lot of people. Marriage is one institution that they just throw at many of us. We've never. There's no template that we have to go to and stuff like that. What would you say is a secret to a successful marriage, man of God?
All right, you made a very solid point that somehow we're never prepared enough for marriage, and that is very true.
Hmm.
But in my opinion, I think there has never been a time when people paid attention to marriage like now. Over the past few couple of years, people just dabbled into marriage. But these days, we can see a lot of relationship coaches, a lot of relationship academies. So people are paying attention. People have finally come to realize how important marriage is for our long-term happiness. People have come to that realization. So, if I was going to say something that will really help marriages is for us to continue to learn about marriage. That's why we have successful engineers that don't have successful marriages. We have successful lawyers that don't have successful marriages. And the reason is simple. The engineer has spent 6 or 7 years studying engineering. The lawyer has spent 6 or 7 years studying law, but they've spent 0 years studying marriage. And so it's not surprising to find out that they are successful in law
Wow.
and not successful in marriage because they have paid attention to law. So if we get more people to start learning about marriage, to start paying attention about the things concerning marriage,
Wow.
we will definitely have more successful marriages. So the key to me, I would say learning, because any marriage can work.
Hmm.
Any marriage can work if we both commit to learning more about marriage.
Wow. That is awesome, Pastor Kingsley. So tell me, when you meet someone, you've gone through the number in quote, dating and stuff like that. When do you know this is the right person for me to marry?
All right, good question. I think there is a large population of people not having the priorities right in terms of the whole dating process.
Hmm.
The reason why we have many bad marriages is that people don't know the proper order that this whole thing is supposed to take. The right order is supposed to be first friendship.
Whoa.
First friendship. You are not supposed to just be looking for a wife and looking for a husband. Try to look for friendship. Anybody that would make it as your friend would make it as your spouse.
Oh my word.
Most people don't realize that at the long run, it is friendship that will outlast every other thing in a marriage.
Wow.
Friendship will outlast the sexiness. Friendship will outlast, all other things that we focus on, beauty, all these things. It is that friendship.
Wow.
Whether there is financial crisis or not later in that marriage, friendship is what will sustain it. If you marry someone because they have money, because they look financially comfortable, what if their finances take a hit?
Hmm.
Just like where there's COVID-19 now, a lot of people are not working, people's finances or businesses are affected. Friendship is what will help you survive. My mother-in-law asked my wife a question when I was in the picture. There was another guy also in the picture at that time.
Oh.
So my mother-in-law asked my wife to be that we were not married then. Asked her if there was no money, which of these guys will you be okay suffering with?
Wow.
If there was no money, which of these guys will you be okay living with if you guys have to struggle through life? And my wife was very clear. She said, "Oh, she would like to live with Kingsley."
Wow.
You see, that's what life is about.
Hmm.
Life happens. There are a lot of things we don't plan that will happen to us in marriage. Who will you like to go through thick and thin with? That's the question. Not just who do I like, because some of the things you're admiring about that person, might not be there, later in life. Some people even marry other people for their gift. But what if tomorrow that guy is not popular? What if tomorrow he's no more, successful in that career?
Wow.
What will you do? So if you notice, a lot of these music stars, football stars, once the career is ending, once the popularity is going, or once something happens to the money, it also affects the marriage most times, because usually the foundation is not right. So we must build on friendship. This person must be somebody that I can hang out with, whether it's the stick or thing, whether there's money or no money, fame or no fame. Do I really like to hang out with this person? So friendship is the starting before we now move to a relationship. Now, the original idea is this: you are supposed to stay on friendship till you both of you believe that we want to spend the rest of our lives together. Then we should start a relationship. Many people start relationship just for the sake of it, because they just think it's the next step. No, it's supposed to be a pre-step, a step towards something. The relationship or courtship or dating, as some people like to call it, is not supposed to be a thing of its own. It's just supposed to be a waiting room, a room we have to pass through to get to that spending our lives together. So we remain friends until we see a lot of compatibility, see shared values, and believe that yes, we can spend the rest of our lives together. And when we spend enough time in friendship, if we decide or if we see that I can't spend the rest of my life with this person, we can leave it at friendship. That way, nobody is hurt, nobody is disappointed. We've not raised anybody's hopes. But what happens to a lot of people is that they start friendship, they never last there. They just date everybody they see, and a lot of broken hearts, a lot of offended people,
Wow.
a lot of trial and error. So we keep dating and dating, and sometimes we've even ruined relationships that could have, brought a lot of better things. Relationships that were not that had other motives or other objectives in our life. We ruin them by dating the person. People that could have been our business partners, our friends, people that could have even linked us
Wow.
to the person we eventually marry. But we've dated them.
Wow.
We've dated them. We date everybody. So a lot of broken relationships, a lot of offense because we're not following due process. All right. So that's what I think. Friendship is key. If we can make it in friendship, the rest will be easy.
Wow. Due process, friendship, and then you could make it up. What a word. Finances and sex. I mean, those are very important issues in marriage. Finance, sex. In the US, those
Yes.
are the two major factors that destroys marriage. How do you think
Um,
we can be careful to avoid those two mistakes?
all right. The key is this. The key is this. So um, people should watch out for patterns and not potential.
Pattern.
Watch out for patterns, not potential. In fact, the way my wife will say, she will say, marry patterns, not potentials.
Wow.
A lot of people make the mistake and look for people's potentials. Now, yes, every human being has potential, but that's not really your job. They have to deal with their potential. You deal with their patterns, all right? The individual deals with his own potential. You deal with the patterns. So, in other words, I call money and sex undue influences. So, excuse me. You shouldn't get them mixed up at the relationship stage. They are best to be introduced at the marriage stage. Don't bring them in at the relationship stage, because they can fool you who actually loves you. For instance, if you guys start putting money together or one person starts spending on the other, you would assume that that is love. Meanwhile, the person just loves the money. The person is after you for the money or after you for the sex. Sex has a way it blinds us emotionally. So we're not even seeing other faults of the person. When you are getting sexually involved with someone, especially for ladies, you are thinking you've invested too much. Even though you are seeing signs that make you know you should back down, or you are feeling, no, I've gone all the way with this person, I have to continue. In other words, what is their pattern? If they are bad with their own money, if they are always owing, always borrowing, always broke, those are their patterns.
Wow.
Yes, they might have the potential to be a billionaire, but right now, their patterns are: he's an adult, he's always broke, always borrowing, always begging. Those are bad signs. Those are bad signs. Those are bad signs. All right. Same thing with sex. If he's trying to sleep with you before marriage, Sorry, it shows he's not. He doesn't respect God's values.
Wow.
And we need to get it straight. Marriage started by God, right? It didn't start by men. It's not an invention of men. If the guy is having issues with keeping himself and respecting the principles of God, why do you think he will keep himself when you are married?
Wow.
Many people make that mistake. Both of you are cheating together now as singles. What on earth? What on earth is making you think that when you get married, it's going to stay with you? He has already shown you, she has already shown you, they don't value what does not belong to them. They are taking what is not theirs. If you are dating someone, that's an offer to marry, it's not marriage. So sleeping with them shows that you don't value principles, you don't value boundaries. And when you get married, you will still have the issue of infidelity. So in most cases where there's infidelity, if you check it well, there was also a foundation of fornication. There was also always that foundation. All right, it's rare for people to have lived, a celibate life as singles and start committing adultery in marriage. It's very rare. All right, so the key is that the patterns are clear. Check their sexual patterns, check their financial patterns. It speaks a lot about who you are getting married to. Those things don't lie. So you are very right. That is one of the main causes of divorce and trouble in marriage. So people need to pay attention to it. What's their sexual pattern? What's their financial pattern? Forget their potential. Everybody has potential. I've been hearing since I was born, I've been Nigeria has potential. Till today, it hasn't really achieved that potential. So you can't wait for that. But follow the patterns. The patterns don't lie.
Patterns don't lie, Reverend Kingsley. Thank you so much for that. I came in with few questions, and these are questions from some of your followers, some of my prodigy, some of my associates here. The first question, we only have 5 minutes on this podcast. My wife makes more money than what I make. Pastor, what can I do?
All right, you definitely have foundational issues. So, in the first place, if you were well counseled before marriage, you should have known that the money is ours, and it doesn't matter who makes what. Many people, in fact, the funny situation, what many people have is just a replica of marriage. It's just something that looks like the marriage God designed. Many people have never really understood or walked in the fullness of what marriage is. The Bible said the two shall become one. When we are one, it means we are one person. That's what that phrase "one flesh" means. It means we are one person. So it's like saying my feet I'm a footballer, my feet makes money. Then I'm a creative person, my head makes money. You now ask me, my leg makes more money than my head. It doesn't make a difference. It's still me. It's one person. It's one flesh. So they have to work with that trust, that level of unity, understanding what one is. If they can understand that it doesn't matter who makes what. The moment we divide our money, we start splitting. There's nothing that splits people more than their money. Once you divide the money, then we start to split, then we start to think differently, then we start to drift apart. Then we start to worry who makes what. Then it now becomes, I'm now jealous or envious that the person makes so and so. Then this person also wants to be controlling because they make more than me. You see, if we understand that, look, just imagine that you own two businesses. One makes $1,000, the other makes $500. They are both the same business. The same person owns the businesses.
Wow.
All right, it doesn't matter who makes what. It's just one. So we can bring it together, plan together, and also spend together. And that's oneness, and that's what God wants to achieve. So in that case, there's nothing wrong with your wife anymore than you. Both of you have a good understanding. Now, in a case where there's already a foundation like this, where you don't spend together, you don't believe that both of you own the money, well, you don't have a choice. Be happy for her that she's earning more. Somehow, if you are treating her right, you will be a beneficiary of that her prosperity. Same with the man. So there are men that earn more and hide their money. You must let it come out and both of you share and respect each other in spite of who is earning more.
Wow, Reverend K, thank you so much for that. We only have 3 more minutes on this show tonight, and we still have like tons of questions, so we might have to rush. There's a question here. My husband wants us to go to the strip club together. Should I go with him?
Yeah. Capital no. Capital no. You're introducing other women to your bed. Those are signs of serious bad sexual habits. The way a man's mind works is different how a woman's mind works. So if you introduce those naked women, then he will continue dreaming and thinking about them and start growing less and less. You start growing less and less attractive to him. So your marriage will definitely take a hit. Your sexuality will take a hit in that marriage. So it's a capital no. It's a sin to put such a thing in your marriage. Okay, let's go.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. What is your thoughts about feminism. I mean, there's this popular person out there who
Yes.
she's a woman and the husband bears her last name. What is your thought about some of these feminine traits out there? What can you advise the young ones that are about going into marriage or at the early stages of their marriages?
All right. The real feminism has a good meaning. However, a lot of hot women have hijacked it and they're using it to fight with men. It's harmful. It's definitely harming a lot of families,
Hmm.
harming a lot of people. So let's stay with how God created things. Women are not less than men. Women are just different from men. So when they are competing to be men, they're actually demoting themselves. Women are beautiful. I believe when God made woman, He looked at all the things that a man did not have and He put it in a woman. So a woman is loaded. In fact, in my own thinking, a woman has more abilities than a man. So don't try to be a man. Just be a woman. We need the difference for us to be strong. So the real meaning of feminism is a good thing, but this bad one that people are pushing is definitely negative. People should be wary of it because it destroys homes and destroys people.
Awesome. Thank you, Pastor Kingsley. I want you to look into the screen now, sir. There are people who are facing challenges in their marriage, in their homes, in their relationship. I just want you to decree a word into that situation for them, sir.
All right. Father, in the name of Jesus, I pray for everyone watching or connecting to this podcast. I ask for that spirit of wisdom right now that no matter the situation we are facing, we'll know exactly what to do to come out. And I pray for grace for us to manage our emotions, for us to be able to do what is right in spite of how we feel. In the name of Jesus, I speak peace to every family. I rebuke any spirit that wants to tear any family apart in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Anyone coming in between any home, I decree that there should be an interference, an
Amen.
intervention of God in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Heavenly Father. More and more and more homes will end up being happy and better in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. We say amen to that. Reverend Kingsley Okonkwo, thank you so much for coming on tonight, and we greatly appreciate you. Any last word before we end the show tonight, sir?
Yes, my last word will be, hey guys, let's pay attention to marriage. It affects our long-term happiness more than we can imagine. So take the time to read about marriage, take time to learn, and have a good coach that will speak into your life and counsel you and things like that. It will go a long way in helping you be a better marriage. If great footballers like Lionel Messi, Roger Federer, and co still have coaches, then none of us are above having coaches. So have a great counselor, a great coach in your life, speaking into your life. It will go a long way in helping you be the best that you can be. Thank you.
Amen. And man of God, I know you have books, you have diverse publications out there. Where can people reach out to you to get some of your materials? And do you mind telling us your maybe Instagram, Facebook handles and stuff
Yes.
like that?
My handle on Instagram is at Kingsley PST. That's at Kingsley Pastor at Kingsley PST. Then my YouTube channel, Kingsley Okonkwo, love research materials are there. Then our website, www.ldmwithpk.org. You can get loads of our materials there, both soft copy and hard copy of books and audios. Then, of course, on Amazon too, you can get a lot of our books there on Amazon for those of you outside the country. So, hey, a lot of powerful stuff that can help you are available on those platforms.
Thank you, Reverend Kingsley. On our screen right now, you could see some of the links to some of his books, his material, his Instagram handle. I mean, is once you get anything, just make sure you follow him and make sure you listen to some of these messages. Thank you, great man of God. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming
Thank you.
all the way
Thank
from
you.
Maryland, USA. I'm signing out. This is Seun Mafa. Great to have you guys tonight. Thank you.